Due to the graphic nature of this episode and the nature of the killer's crimes, listener discretion is advised. Suicidal ideation, sexual assault, rape, and violence all will be mentioned in this episode. May not be suitable for children or those who are easily triggered. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa.
And I'm Samantha.
And welcome to Watch for Deer. Hi guys.
We skipped a week.
Just a little bit. I had a very long weekend though.
For what?
Oh my gosh. So Zoe was in a pageant in Prestonsburg, and there were like 80-some contestants.
Yeah, you told me about that.
We left our house at 8:45 a.m., drove to Prestonsburg, and I rolled in back at my house at 9:30 p.m. No, thank you, ma'am. I will not do a large pageant like that again.
Why?
Ever. Because it was awful.
You pack a bag and it's snacks?
No, it was awful. It was miserable.
You can do an all-day pageant. That was
miserable.
Not for you.
It was miserable for her, too. Was it not?
Oh, it was?
Yes.
You didn't like it?
No, it took so long. It takes so long.
Well, I mean, I think that if you're going to do pageants, you're going to have to do, like, a big one. Like, it's just, you're just going to have to do it. You're going to have to suck it up and do it.
Well, I mean, I don't think, like, I don't know. I'm new to the pageant world, so
Speaking
we'll see.
from someone who knows nothing
who
about
knows
pageants.
nothing about pageants. Yeah. I don't either. I'm a baseball mom, but we're learning. We're learning. We're, kind of figuring it out as we go. She's doing good. She looks amazing. I'm going to brag on her a little bit.
Beautiful.
She looks absolutely stunning. So... But I think she should be queen and princess of all the things. But that's just, I mean, I'm biased. I'm her mama. To me, she looks like a model.
Well, I had to go to AutoZone earlier today, and it made me so mad. I was so mad. And I had to get some stuff for the vehicle. And I go in, and I tell the man in there exactly what I wanted. Had the VIN number on the car and everything. He's like, oh, if you buy this and this, you're getting it anyways. You're going to get... free air filters. Or he goes, do you want any air filters? And I was like, no. And I thought, when he said that, I thought it's like taking your car and getting your oil changed.
Mm-hmm. They want to upsell everything.
So anyways, he's like, we'll give you air filters. You want some air filters? No, I don't want any. I just want what I brought the list in, got everything. This is what I want. But if you buy all this stuff, you're going to get them free for your car anyways. Okay, free? Yeah, they're free. Okay, sure. If it's free. And then he gets this stuff for Scott's truck. Do you want an air filter for that? Is it free? Yeah, it's free. Okay, yeah. If it's free, I want it. Like...
We're not turning down free stuff.
So I go up there, and what should have been like, I counted in my head, $85 ended up being like $127. And I was like, I paid for it because I, didn't know exactly what the prices should be. And I go outside, and I sat with my receipt, and I'm like, well, the air filters are on there, but it looks like I've been charged for them, and I don't see, like, it says, like, $27.99, and I don't see, like, a minus underneath of it. And I was like, that's weird.
So Slick Rick pulled one over on you.
I called Scott, and I was like, hey, how much should this stuff have been? And I had texted him, too, while we were in there, and I was like, I'm getting air filters, but this guy's giving them to me for free because it comes in a bundle if you spend so much or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy was just a little... strange anyways, but I digress. And Scott goes, maybe $85-$90, and I was like, well, it was like $127, something like that. And he goes, yeah, you're charged for those air filters. I said, well, I looked at the receipt, I just didn't, yeah, I was, I'm going to take them back. He goes, yeah, he just did that to you because you're a woman.
Oh,
listen, when Scott said that, it went all through me. I was like, I'm going back in. I was so pissed off. I walked back in there. And I looked at him and I said, and I wasn't hateful or anything, but my blood was boiling. And I was like, can you show me? And it was a woman that was in there that time, where these air filters are free on this, because I asked him, and he's standing beside me in the counter, like adjacent to me.
Yeah.
But he's on the phone. But I pointed to him. I said, because I asked him 3 times if this was free. And if I hadn't checked my receipt, by my calculations, I'm overcharged $45 at this point. Well, he hangs up the phone. He's like, here, I can take care of that for you.
I'd be like, no, sir.
Yeah, but that woman's standing there, and he's like, well, I don't know why they didn't give them to you for free. And I said, well, probably because they weren't free. And so anyways, he gave me my money back or whatever. But I'm just so sick and tired of going. And this has happened here before. There's a place here in this vicinity that I went in, And they literally, I went in and told them exactly what I wanted. This has been like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I told them what I wanted, and they were like, "Are you sure about that?" And I was like, "Yes, this is what I want, you know." And he said something or whatever, and he goes, "Well, let me call Scott because they know."
They know, yeah.
Let me call Scott, and I was like, "Well, Scott was working night shift, so he was asleep during the day." And I was like, "Well, you don't have to call Scott. I'm telling you what I want." "Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and call Scott." So he called Scott. Woke him up.
Oh my God, I would have been freaking livid.
Scott goes, "She said what she wanted. That's what she want." I've not been back in either of Scott.
Well, you know, that's why I quit. I used to go to a place in Huntington a long time ago because it was right across from my work to get a lot of my stuff done because I could literally drop my car off there and walk to work. After so much of that bullshit, I only take my car when I need mechanical services to Sanders Tire down in Levelette.
That's the only place I go. I go to Mickey's.
Absolutely.
And I was there a couple days ago, but this was stuff that Scott can do. Scott can do the most of it.
And Clint can too, but most of the time we don't have time.
But Mickey, I go in there. They treat me like I know what I want.
Yeah.
They don't treat me like I'm an idiot. And if I was to say something and I'm wrong about it, those guys and stuff and Letha that works in there, they don't treat me like I don't know or stupid.
They explain it to you.
They explain it to me.
So we're not paid to say this.
No.
We literally we just all do our business at Sanders Tire.
Really? I mean, I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick. I'm so sick of being treated like somebody else did something to. Look, I'm on it.
Oh, get it, girl.
Listen,
she on her soapbox.
Somebody else did something this week, and I'm not going to say anything about what it was, but I sent out a message, and I was like, well, I'm an idiot. I guess I'm an idiot, for trusting. I'm an idiot. I'm still so mad about that because I was lied to my face. Yeah. And there's a few things. You do not treat me like I'm less than because I have a vagina. Don't you dare.
That's right.
Don't you
We
dare.
know our worth.
Don't you lie to my face because it will come back out.
And bite you right in the ass.
That's exactly right. And like I saw on that TikTok, honey, I won't call you till the Lord calls you home. I won't call you till the Lord calls you home. I don't need you.
I don't need you.
I don't need you.
I feel you.
I don't need you. I will burn the bridge.
Probably handled the situation where he overcharged you on the air filters way cooler than I would have. Way cooler than I would have because I'd have walked in there and I'd have started on him. It's just
I was told something one time, and this is so true while we're on this, and then I'll let you get your story, or we can keep talking, whatever. I was told something one time that when men get mad and they, say something about it, well, they're passionate about it. Men are. But when women do it, they're a bitch and on PMSing.
Sounds about right.
So I was told you've got to keep, because somebody was doing something and I may have been running for something. Keep your emotions in check because if you get mad and throw a fit, you're crazy.
Oh, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I am certifiably crazy.
So I handle it calm, cool, and collective.
I'm not that person.
I
mean, it depends on the situation.
I'm very stern, but yeah.
I'd have walked in and been like, "You lying SOB?
No,
you told me these filters were free."
No, I wouldn't have done that. But he knew that he knew that I knew. I didn't. I was upset. I mean, I was mad.
Absolutely.
And that made me think about all the things that.
Not cool, bruh. Not cool.
Yeah, not cool, bruh.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Skibbity toilet.
No.
Dylan would be like, "Mom."
I mean, I'm just like, ew. Why would you do that? I watched a no. Hold on.
Go ahead. You're good.
I watched a documentary on Netflix that came out this week. It's Netflix has this series, and the next one I think is like coming out in like July the 1st. Mm-hmm. But it's called Trainwreck, and it's all these things that that got big publicity, but it's like bad stuff happened. It was just a train. It was an absolute.
It was a train wreck.
And I watched the poop cruise. And listen,
what's the poop cruise?
Lisa, these people went on a 4-day cruise with 4-day Carnival cruise.
Oh God!
And they left Texas. They went to Mexico, and then when they're coming back, it's just supposed to be a 4-day cruise. When they're coming back in the middle of the night, like 5:30 in the morning, all the lights go off in a cruise. Now we've been on a cruise. So
It's pitch black, dark,
black at 5:30 in the morning, and there's this beep 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 coming over, and it says alpha team, alpha team, alpha team, alpha team. Keep saying that, and these people are waking up and they're like, what's going on? Alpha team, alpha team. They're like, something bad's happening. So everybody gets up, they go out to the deck and stuff. Several hours go by, then there's a fire in the electrical room. They got the fire put out. But very long story short, within 24 hours, they realized that none of the toilets are working because they're electric. So because they have no electric, none of the toilets are working. So they tell them to pee in the shower and poop in biodegradable bags. They gave them all bags to poop in, and to set them in the hall or so, and then they would come through and get all the poop bags.
Oh my God!
So they're there for 3 days, and it's so hot.
Oh my God!
Like all the food that was refrigerated because they have no electricity.
Oh shit!
It's gone. So they're lining up, and they're in line for like 2 and 3 hours for like tomato and lettuce sandwiches and stuff like that. So all that happens. Finally, I mean, it's way worse than what I'm describing.
God.
Tugboats from Mexico, or they either come from Mexico or Mobile, Alabama, to pull this cruise ship. Now, if you've never been on a cruise ship, it is like, and they described it perfectly, it's like a humongous skyscraper on its side. They're humongous.
Yeah, it's literally a floating city.
You can't imagine how big these things are. So these tugboats come. Well, there's nothing like flushing or anything, like the toilets, nothing's flushing.
So it's heavy.
Well, it's heavy, but it's coming, I mean, all of the water and everything, like these people are using, like peeing down, and nothing's flushing in the shower. Well, at this point, it's standing in the shower, like the pee and poop and everything is just in the shower because it can't go down any further.
Oh my God.
When these tugboats, and it's going to take them 2 days to tug them back in because they're going to Mobile, Alabama, because they had drifted like 100 miles from Mexico to Mobile. And for these tugboats, it's going to take like 36 hours, 48 hours to get them to Mobile, Alabama. At this point, it is worldwide news. Like, people are talking about it, like, because these people on this ship, they have no cell service either. All their phones are dead, but they have no cell service. This other ship, another, I don't know if it was Carnival, Royal Caribbean or what, backed up close to this Carnival ship so these people could use their Wi-Fi signal.
Oh my gosh.
So they finally start calling, I'm okay. This is horrendous. We're sleeping on our mattresses. We're all sleeping in the hallway. There's no food. All this stuff. It's like super, super bad. Again, I cannot describe how horrendous this is. And they were like, terrifying. The smell, as soon as you walk in, it smells like feces because there's poop and pee.
The heat.
People are sick.
Oh my God. That's like the cruise from hell.
Well, when the tugboats come and start pulling the cruise ship, they pull, right? But it tips it a little bit. And when it does, all the pee and poop start draining. Oh, well, at least listen. Start draining into the hallways, down the stairs, in the elevator, and it starts raining.
Raining shit and piss.
Raining pee and poop.
God.
On everybody.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like in the floors, it's standing pee and poop. It's standing raw sewage all over this for 2 days. They had to do this. I
really hope that Carnival comped all them.
They said at the end of it,
I hope
they were comped for, they got their money back for their cruise. They were all given like $500. They could get another cruise. They got another cruise for free. They were comped other stuff, like their stuff. But anyways, like they, can you imagine? Like they're sleeping outside. And then, like, they had locked all the bars up, but one night they're like, let these people have fun. So they started giving everybody free drinks.
Well, heck yeah.
Yeah, they did. Everybody was so hateful and stuff with each other. They were
bar fights.
They were bar fights everywhere on that ship. Like, it was a mess. You've got to watch, and it's only
oh my God.
It's only like 50 minutes long, but you've got to watch this. Like, I mean,
you like straight up gave me whiplash.
I'm telling you, like it rained. It was coming down like poop and pee was coming down the walls of the
like
place.
Nightmarish.
Yeah, and they had to be tugged in. And when it was tugging them in, it was
sloshing. Like it was slosh.
Well, sure it was. It was sloshing all over the place.
Oh God, that's awful.
So there's my mini story.
There we go. That was actually terrifying.
That's what I do.
It was terrifying.
I scare y'all.
I'm gonna have to insert a trigger warning at the beginning of this one. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
You got to watch it though. And there's one on Travis Scott. It came out, I don't know, but me and Zoe was talking about it. I've not got to watch all of it yet. I've got like 30 minutes left, but it's only an hour and 20 minutes. It's almost like Unsolved Mysteries. It's like an Unsolved Mysteries episode, but it's like train wreck. Like they know what happened. It's like, how could you let something so bad happen?
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking about what I did. Like, why didn't they get them on these safety rafts and get them off? Well, they said it was kind of not even feasible. Like, if they had another cruise ship, all the safety rafts, for them to be able to get them off with no electricity, you're only talking, there was 4,000 people on this ship, and you're only talking about they could take like a handful at a time. And it would take them longer to get everybody off the ship like that than for them to tug them back in.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Wow.
And people, and another thing, when they were all drunk, all the men and stuff were pissing off the side of the ship, and the wind was blowing. It was blowing back on the people on the bottom deck, and they were taking their red bags of poop because it stunk so bad, and they were throwing it. Yeah, and it was blowing back in the people on the bottom.
Oh my God.
Like it was bad. Like it was bad.
That's insane. That's a nightmare of a cruise.
It was. I'm sure it was a nightmare. You need to listen to the people talking about it.
I almost kind of want somebody to call in and do an episode about the shit cruise with us. I would like to hear that.
It was either, and that cruise ship is still in work. It still works. It cost them millions upon millions of dollars to clean it and fix it.
Oh my God.
But that fire burnt through the electric lines. So what happened was the generators, once they got them up and work, they wouldn't work because there was no lines.
That's crazy.
So
wow,
there you go.
Well, that was a terrifying story.
There's a little mini story. Go ahead.
Mini story before the big story. So this story was actually sent to me by someone you know very well.
Yeah?
Yeah. She is a great friend of ours. You can thank Miss Lori for sending this one to me. So if you don't like
the idea?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So if you don't like it, you can blame Lori.
I talked to her today.
So, trigger warning.
She told me that she went and gave blood. What was it? She said she went and gave blood today, and she was really scared of it, of giving blood, so she doesn't watch it. And that her and that woman were talking back and forth, and I guess the woman was like, okay, I'm done. And Lori thought that she was, like, done talking to her. So Lori's like, okay, and her head was still turned, and the nurse was kind of like, no, like, I'm done with your blood. Like, Lori's like, okay, with her arms stuck out and stuff.
Well, we've started giving blood because of Clinton's dad. He took a lot of blood.
I think she was having something, but
yeah, but we did donation. But I've only been able to give once. The first time I went, my blood wouldn't drain. Like they couldn't get it to flow, so I couldn't give blood that day. Mm-hmm. And then I did give blood once, and then the third appointment, my iron was too low, so I had to wait. And I just went Monday. I think it was Monday. And tried to give blood, and my heart rate was too high. They would not let me give blood again. So,
what was your heart rate?
Ain't nobody want my blood.
What was your heart rate?
It was, I don't know, like 130, 150. I don't know. I was hot. I told her I was hot.
Well,
I don't know. I've never had that problem. Like, I don't know.
All you can do is try.
All I can do is try. So, today we are going to talk about Robert Christian Bose Hansen. He was born in Estherville, Iowa on February 15th, 1939, to Edna Hansen and his father Christian Krish Hansen. Hansen's father made his living as a baker. Hansen was the oldest of two kids in the family. His father was a very strict family man, and Hansen had to work in the bakery when he wasn't attending school. He had been born left-handed, but his parents insisted he use his right hand. They were very controlling, and this could have contributed to his already very anxious state. He had been a very nervous and anxious kid from the beginning. Growing up, Hansen had a terrible stutter and horrible acne that left his face scarred. He was very small in stature, skinny, and very shy. He was a very awkward child, and we all know what that leads to: bullying. Now, as he gets older, it only got worse. The kids at school became more difficult, and he was constantly teased and picked on by other boys and girls. The girls actually were probably the cruelest, especially the ones that he thought were the most attractive.
Listen, there's nothing more mean than teenage girls.
Oh, they're devils.
They are
Satan's spawn.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but 90% of them.
Again, with the statistics that
that I
you're
know,
making up.
I'm a statistician.
I wouldn't say that, but
or whatever
they can
call
cut.
them.
They can cut like a knife with their tongue.
Yeah,
they
they
can
are.
say something, and I'm telling you, they can cut.
Yep.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they're awful. So this caused a very slow hatred of females to build inside of him. He began to withdraw even more than he was before. During his teen years, without any friends, his favorite pastime was hunting. And of course, here in Appalachia, hunting, fishing, anything outdoors, we love. Like, I love to hunt. It's very therapeutic to me, just sitting in the woods, smelling just the fresh smell. I love it.
Nah.
I like it.
Negative.
I like it a lot.
Negative.
He loved the woods, and he was rather good at it. It brought him peace that he couldn't find elsewhere. So by the time he got into high school, Hansen had a little money for after-hours activities with the other kids. So he did join basketball, and he ran track, he sang in the chorus, and he was a member of the chess club.
Well,
He found with these activities, he didn't have to spend as much time at the bakery working under his overbearing father, and it allowed him the opportunity to try and make some friends within these extracurricular activities. So Hansen would graduate from high school in 1957, and he joined the United States Army Reserve. He ended up in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and would be there when he would have his very first sexual experience with a lady of the night.
oh, a lot lizard.
A lot lizard.
A lot lizard.
A lot lizard.
Those are the ladies who hangs around the parking lot.
Yeah, at the truck stops.
At the truck stops.
You want a lot lizard lady.
It's a lot lizard.
Lot lizard. In 1959, he would come back home to Iowa as an Army reservist. He would spend a weekend a month drilling, and then the rest of the time he was either working at their bakery or he would volunteer with the Pocahontas County Police Academy as a drill instructor. Now, Hansen would meet a local lady and fall in love, and they would get married in 1960. Almost 6 months later, he would commit his first of many crimes. He had talked a 16-year-old boy into helping him set the bus garage on fire. Now, keep in mind, he's in his younger 20s at this time.
Why would he set the bus garage on fire?
I'm getting there. He said that he didn't like the way that the students and the staff had treated him when he was in school. So he thought, burn her down. That doesn't work. So the teen actually ended up narking on him and turned Hansen in, and he was arrested for arson, and he was sentenced to 3 years. His wife immediately filed for divorce. Hansen only served 20 months of the 3 years, and then he was paroled. Now, during his time incarcerated, his psychological evaluation stated that he had an infantile personality. It wouldn't be long until Hansen would meet and marry his second wife, Darla, and they quickly moved to Anchorage, Alaska.
I love that name, Darla.
Darla. That was a TV show on MTV years ago, wasn't it? Darla.
Cartoon.
Yeah, cartoon.
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
Yeah, on MTV.
Mhm.
I like that show.
I don't remember it. I don't know why I know
She was
that.
red hair and glasses.
I know who she is, but I
Yeah.
don't remember it. Go ahead.
Anywho, so they moved to Anchorage, Alaska during the big oil boom of the 70s. Now, Alaska was the perfect place for Hansen. He had a wide, vast wilderness that he could hunt. He had several of his kills memorialized in the Pope and Young record books. He had a large trophy room to display all of his trophies in, and he quickly began to fill it up. Put a pin in this about these trophies.
Okay.
Okay. It didn't take long until Hansen became bored with the hunting game. It was too easy for him. With Anchorage booming, along comes the crimes. A mafia boss from Seattle had set up in what was called the Tenderloin area. Sounds juicy.
Sounds weird.
It does sound weird, don't it? That's what I said too. I was like, Tenderloin? I was like,
That sounds awful.
this area was rough. There was brothels, strip clubs, drugs, you name it. Now, it wasn't long before Hansen figured out that he could get one of the girls in the car with him for $200 to $300. What started out as a recreation with these women soon turned violent.
Hold on. They're $200 to $300?
Yep.
I didn't realize it was that expensive.
I mean, I don't know who has that kind of money to buy that with.
Honest to God, I didn't.
I mean, I guess it is cheaper than marriage.
Hey, one time I was out to dinner with a friend, and I'm not going to say where we were at to dinner, but we had pulled out to the back parking lot of the dinner, and it was right across the road from a place where people travel.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and say it was the Greyhound. It was the bus stop in Huntington. We were eating margaritas.
Yeah. I knew when you said Greyhound. I knew where you were eating.
And I had never seen a prostitute before. Never. I've never seen it. And I think probably because maybe I've not paid any attention.
You and your little sweet bubble.
So we're pulling there, and she slaps me. She's like that on the shoulder, and she goes, look, there's a prostitute. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen one before. Never. And she had like on a mini skirt and like a tube top thing. And this guy in this car, like it was an expensive car, like a nice expensive car in the back parking lot of that. And she was bent over just like
Pretty Woman.
She was bent over in that car, talking to him.
Sticking her butt out, sticking the boobs in his face.
I was like, what's she doing? And my friend Jen, she's like, well, they're making a deal. And I was like, oh gosh. She pulls out, and I was like, hold on.
Wait a minute, stop. We gotta watch this.
Hold on so we can follow them. Would you wait a minute? Because I've never seen anything like this before. And, and she's like, we are not following him. I was like, not dirty, but like, does she get in the car with him? Do they take off? Like, I need to know what happens next. It's like a drama for me. Took off. I was so mad at her.
I would have been mad too, but when I worked at a specific bank down on 20th Street, I worked the drive-through window, and I cannot tell you how awful it was. The hookers would line up at the ATM and get these men while they were getting cash out and go at the ATM and drive down the alley. I shit you not. You could sit and you could watch it all day long.
I guess I've just never paid attention. I was coming down Huntington one time at a stop sign, and that we stopped at a stop sign, and I looked over to my right, and there was this big lady. She was a rather large lady, and all she had on, and it was hot outside, and all she had on was like, do you remember the pink and like green and gold striped like polyester jackets, puff jackets of the 80s? She had that on, and it just, it had cinch around the waist to her belly button, and that's it.
Oh, my God.
Honey, that's all she had on. That's it. I'm telling you, I turned around, and it was like my eyeballs were right at her muff. Like, that's how tall she was. And I was like, go, 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 go. Yeah. I was like, get me out of here. Help. Like, it's too close. It's too close. I don't want to be this close.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I mean, it was just right there. Like, right. I was shocked.
You and your cute little bubble.
I was shocked. I was shooketh.
You got to open your eyes, kid.
Shooketh.
So much world to look at.
I don't want to see that world or experience that. I do not want to see. I don't want to see Muff. Go ahead.
Oh, gosh. But so he would get these women for $200 or $300, and it started out as something fun, but it soon turned violent. He would eventually just pick them up and grape them because he knew it was their line of work and nobody would take them seriously.
That happens a lot, like in these stories that you told me. Like, they are so...
It's such a dangerous field.
It is a very dangerous...
And I know, a lot of people have to do it to pay the bills and, do it for their drug habits and stuff, but it is so dangerous. So dangerous. If he wasn't picking up ladies of the night, he would go and he would pick up exotic dancers, because during this time, dancing was also a very large source of income for single mothers. Now, almost 3 years had passed, and the Anchorage police had known about various missing women. It wasn't that uncommon for them to come up to Anchorage. They'd work, they'd make a really good sum of money, and then they'd disappear. Often, they'd go back south to where they came from. A lady can make a really good living providing recreational activities to the pipeliners. It wasn't uncommon for trappers, fishers, or hunters to disappear in the harsh wilderness either. So I'm going to talk about a couple of his victims here, okay? Well, more than a couple. So Celia Beth Van Zanten, this was 1971. December 25th of 1971, two brothers, Dennis and Gary, were hiking in the beautiful snow-covered terrain of McHugh Creek State Park, photographing the scenery. During their hike, Dennis located a waterfall, and he wanted to get a better angle, so he started to climb down the edge of the waterfall on a ledge to find that right angle for the perfect picture. As he raised his hands up to snap the picture, something caught his eye behind a small bush, and his initial thought was, oh, that's a mannequin. He soon realized that the body was lying at an odd angle.
Why would he think that there was a mannequin in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like around here, like people there's dump sites, trash. People dump trash. I don't know if it's like that everywhere else, but a lot of the country roads, you look over and there's stuff laying everywhere. Yeah. So like a dump site is what I was thinking. But he realized that the body was lying at a really odd angle, and it was nude from the hips down. So he felt kind of weirded out by this whole situation. So he goes back to his brother, and they end up going and calling the police. Now, Officer Gilmour arrived on scene and noted that the body had pale skin, long blonde hair, and she perfectly matched the description of a missing teen, Celia Beth Van Zanten. Celia had walked to a convenience store on December 23rd of 1971, and she had never returned. Now, her body showed signs of sexual molestation. Her chest and torso had been mutilated with a knife. Her hands had been bound behind her back and secured with wire. After going over the crime scene, authorities believed that she had took off running from her assailant, probably from the parking lot above the ledge when she fell below. Evidence of a car circling was present, and they found a silver belt buckle and a black belt and some tissue paper nearby. Now, our next lady is Megan Emmerich, July of 1973. Megan was an Alaskan native, and she was an outdoors enthusiast. She went missing after she left a laundromat at her dorms in 1973. Now, Hansen has always denied any involvement with Megan's disappearance, but her body has never been recovered. So the next one is Mary Kay Thiel, July of 1975. Now, Mary Kay had hitched a ride on July 5th into town. She was last seen at a waterfall near Lowell Point Road between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Now, her husband reported her missing when she never came back home. Hansen denied involvement in her abduction, although he was in the area at that time. El Clatuna Annie. Now, this is an unknown missing victim, and they think that this could potentially be one of his first victims.
Mm-hmm.
July 21st of 1980, authorities would find what was believed to be Hansen's first victim. She was recovered in a heavily wooded area by some county workers. Her body was badly decomposed and severely damaged by wild animals. Judging by her clothing, authorities believed she was a topless dancer or a prostitute. Hansen told authorities he had picked her up and taken her to the woods. She had ran away from him, so he chased her. When he got close to her, she pulled a knife to try and fight him off and defend herself, and at that point, he took the knife away from her and stabbed her and left her dead. Roxanne Eastland, June of 1980. Roxanne Eastland was a prostitute in Anchorage. She went by Karen Lee Baumgard when she left to meet a client, and she was never seen again. Although Hansen did admit to kidnapping and murdering Roxanne, her body, too, has never been recovered, even with the use of his aviation map. And we'll circle back to this map and all the animals. Now, authorities assume that her remains may have just been carried away and distributed by wild animals. Joanne Messina, July 1980. Not only was Hansen an accomplished hunter, but he was also a fisherman. Hansen had his boat and noticed Messina walking. She was a topless dancer, and she was on her way to work when Hansen pulled up to her and asked if she would like to go out on the boat with him. When she declined, he pulled his gun and forced her to get into the car. She was raped and killed near El Katuna Road, and he left her body in a gravel pit not far from where Annie was found. When the authorities went to recover the body, they had been told there was a large bear in the area. When they found the body, they could tell that it had been gnawed on. While examining the remains, the bear returns, and the authorities tried to shoo it away. The bear became hostile, so the officers had to back down because they are protected species in Alaska, so it wasn't like they could shoot it. So eventually the bear did calm down, the bear did leave, and they were able to recover her remains. Lisa Futrell, missing September of 1980. Now, there's not a whole lot of information on Lisa. They believe she was a prostitute. Her body was found May 9th of 1984 south of the Old Nick Bridge and was confirmed to be one of Hansen's first victims. She was also a mark on his aviation map. Andrea Altieri, missing December 2nd, 1981. Andrea was last seen by her roommates. She was an exotic dancer and was headed out to meet a client for a photography session and was never seen again. Hansen admitted to abducting her. He told authorities that he had blindfolded her and drove to a secluded area along the Nick River. He told her if she complied, he would let her go. After sexually assaulting her, she said she needed to use the bathroom. So he laid his pistol down on the hood of the car and turned his back to use the bathroom himself. Andrea lunged for the gun, but Hansen was too fast. He grabbed it before she could and shot her dead. Hansen stated he used rocks and gravels to weight a bag down that he had in his car. He then tied that around her neck and threw her body in the river, and her body has never been found. Sue Luna, May 26, 1982. Sticking to his M.O., Hansen had promised Luna $300 for pictures. According to the report, Luna was stripped, blindfolded, and sent running through the woods near the Nick River. She had been shot multiple times before being buried next to a parking lot. Do you see what I did?
I did see
I
what
had
you
to
did.
spell it B-E-R-R.
I'm proud of you.
Her body would be found April 24th of 1984. Sherry Morrow, September 1982. September 12th of 1982, two off-duty officers were hunting around the Nick River when they came across the body. They reported it, and an investigation ensued. Now, a few things were discovered here. The body had been buried initially in a shallow grave, which also indicated foul play. The body had been in the elements for some time, according to the decomposition of the body. After sifting through the gravel and things around the body, officers did find a spent shell casing to a high-powered rifle. They were able to determine that the body was female. The age, they were not sure on that. They estimated her death around early spring or summer of 1982, so 6 to 8 months prior. Castings of the 223 were found with the body. 15 days later, they would identify her as 24-year-old Sherry Morrow, who had also been known as Sherry Graves. She was an exotic dancer at the Wild Cherry Bar, and she vanished November of 1981. Now, Sherry had left to meet a man who wanted to pay her $300 for nude photos. She would never be seen again. This was his MO. That's what he always offered these women. He was like, I just want to take pictures of you. And they would willingly get in the car or go with him, and at that point, he would kidnap them.
You know, you would think that the police would, well, they probably didn't know that, though, at the time, that he was offering $300. So.
There were so many people in town, and there were, like they said, you know, he targeted the prostitutes, the hitchhikers, you know, and so, I mean, nobody really missed them. And if they did, they're like, well, it's nature of the beast, that's your line of work. Sorry. That man was Hansen. He kidnapped her, took her out to the Nick River, and waited. Now, Sherry tried to fight, and Hansen tried to wait patiently for her to calm down. When she didn't and tried to charge at him, he raised his rifle and popped off 3 shots. She had 3 gunshot wounds in her back and no bullet holes in her clothes. She had been found clothed, so the authorities believed that he had sexually assaulted her and was waiting for her to run so he could then hunt her down. Instead, she decided to fight back, so he killed her. That was his big thing. He got tired of hunting big game. So he wanted something else that he could hunt, and that's what he did. He'd find the prostitutes, the topless dancers. He would promise them photographs or, pay them for their services. They'd get in the car, and he would, bind them up, take them out to the wilderness, strip them down, have his fun, and then just let them go. You're free. Go. Run. And the moment that they ran, he got his rocks off by doing that, by shooting them when they fled. Paula Goulding, April 1983. Like the other girls, Paula had moved to Anchorage to take advantage of the influx of workers. She had just begun dancing nude to make extra cash. She met Hansen the first night she was dancing nude, and he offered her $200 to meet him for a lunch date. Her roommates reported her missing when she never returned after 4 days. Her body would be found September 3rd of 1983, near where the previous body was found a month prior on the Nick River. After examining the remains, it was determined that she had been bound, blindfolded, raped, and had been running for some time before being shot in the back with a .223 rifle. Like Sherry Morrow, she had been redressed, buried, and the shell casings were found in the shallow grave. After his arrest, Hansen admitted to murdering Paula. He said that he had taken her at gunpoint to his plane and flown her to a cabin where he tied her up, blindfolded her, raped her, and tortured her for quite some time. When he was done with her, he opened the cabin door, pushed her out, and prompted her to run. He then proceeded to hunt her down and kill her.
This story is awful, Elisa.
So what you got to know, too, about Robert Hansen is a lot of people in Alaska, they own their own planes because you almost have to own your own plane to get to places. So I think that's how he got away with it, was he was a hunter. Everybody expected him to go to the woods, and he would hide these in his car and then hide them in the plane, and then he'd take them by plane, like to the Nick River, and then that's where he would land, and that's where his fantasy unfolded. Now, here's the downfall. Sergeant Glenn Flothy would be assigned to the cases that involved the 2 bodies found on the Nick River. Flothy just didn't take your typical look at case files. He organized them. He was very methodical in his process. Now, he started a matrix of possible victims that included the pictures of the women, their profiles, and the dates that they were last seen, and anything else that he could come up with. He began to make connections. All the women were between 5'4" and 5'7", weighing 120 to 125 pounds. They were all slim, they were usually busty, and had all one time or another worked as a topless dancer or a prostitute. Flothy would come across the Kitty Larson case. Now, Kitty Larson is one of his attempted abductions and murders. And so what happened is he would have killed Kitty. He abducted her the same way that he did these other ladies. He bound her, and he went to put her in the plane, and he told her to be still, and he turned around to get something out of his car, and she took that opportunity to run.
Good.
So she was able to escape him. So when she had got back, and I'll kind of touch a little bit more on Kitty's case here in a minute, but she had filed a report, that he had abducted her, and she was like, I know he was going to kill me. So Flothy comes across this Kitty Larson case, and he had a hunch that this reminded him a lot about how Ted Bundy was captured. It's the one that got away. He knew this could be the key to catching their serial killer. Now, Kitty had previously identified Robert Hansen as her attacker when she reported the crime to the Anchorage Police Department. Unfortunately, once again, due to the nature of her business, no one believed her. And it doesn't matter if you're a prostitute or topless. Why are they not treated the same? Like, it doesn't matter.
I agree with you on that. It should be, any report should be taken seriously.
Absolutely. Any report.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. When questioned about this particular incident, Hansen gave them alibis. Now, his alibis had checked out. Looking at Hansen on the surface, he was a very successful businessman because he also opened a bakery in Alaska, and he was running his bakery very successfully. He also was friends with a circle of well-respected members of the community, and a lot of these guys would just vouch for him. So these cops would show up, and they'd be like, hey, were you with Bob Hansen on the night of da-da-da? Oh, yeah, we were sitting around, we were eating pizza and drinking beers. And they weren't.
Yeah.
So that should be the first sign that, hello, something's wrong. Like, why would you cover for somebody? You'd be like, hell no, I wasn't there.
Wonder why they did that.
I don't know. It's very strange to me, too. Now, as Flothi begins to dig deeper into Hansen's life, he finds an insurance claim that Hansen had filed with his insurance company. The claim stated that someone had broken into Hansen's home and stolen a bunch of his trophy kills. Now, remember at the beginning of the story, I had told you that he was a very skilled hunter and he had set many Pope and Young records. So the items that were stolen were a bear rug, which was documented to be in the family room between the table and wall, a sheep head, a wolverine hide, a grizzly hide, a beaver hide, a walrus tusks, and of course, he said that all of that had been stolen. He had all this documented pictures, and he turned it into State Farm. And, they paid the claim out. And it said that money, that insurance money, was how he bought his plane.
Well, I just looked him up, and like they say Ted Bundy, he was a handsome man.
Yeah.
And this guy is not a...
He's not a bad-looking guy. He doesn't look like a serial killer.
He's not a scary-looking guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you've seen some of I would love to do Ted Bundy, too. I would love to do that story. But
it's on the list.
If you've seen some of the pictures or the videos of him talking to the news or whatever when they would go in after he'd been arrested, his face literally changes. His eyes change when he talks about it.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
That's so scary that they can switch that on and off.
Looks so evil. He looks so evil.
It is so. And they're really good at what they do. They prey on women, and they prey on our want to nurture and help. You know what I mean? So they prey on that.
Not me. I don't want to nurture and help nobody.
I don't want to help nobody.
I ain't helping nobody.
I ain't helping nobody.
You ruined that.
She's like, you done ruined that.
I'd have helped somebody a year and a half ago. I ain't helping nobody.
I ain't helping you now.
No.
Keep walking.
I see somebody I know well on the side of the road. I'll be like, I'll call somebody for you.
Like,
and I never even stop.
Just
roll down the window and
yell at them. Be like, I'll call your mama. Let her know on the side of the road.
Yeah. I'll call somebody for you. I'm sorry, I can't stop.
I'm not stopping. I have a true crime podcast, and I'm scared now.
I'm afraid of you.
I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of the dark.
I'm afraid of my neighbors. I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of everybody.
I'm afraid of shadows. It's all scary.
It's all so scary. Everything's scary.
But so Flothi realized that if the insurance claim had paid out, then they probably still had pictures of the items. So if he could prove that Hansen still had those trophies in his possession, he could get a warrant based on insurance fraud to help hold Hansen until he could gather more evidence to convict him of these kidnappings and murders. One way he planned to do that was by using one of his victims' reports, Cindy Paulson. So Cindy Paulson was also a survivor of one of his attacks. She was on June 13th of 1983. Hansen offered 17-year-old Cindy Paulson $200 to perform a favor. When she got into the car, he pulled out a gun and drove her to his home. There, he held her captive, and he proceeded to rape and torture her. Paulson later told police that Hansen had chained her by the neck after he was done to a post in the basement while he took a nap on a nearby couch. Now, while he was napping, Paulson remembered she really got the heebie-jeebies. Being in a creepy, damp, dark basement gives you the heebie-jeebies anyways. But she specifically remembered looking around at all of these animal heads and trophies in the basement. Now, she said when he woke up that he put her in his car and took her to Merrill Field, where he told her that he intended to take her to his shack near the Nick River area, accessible only by boat or bush plane. Paulson crouched in the back seat of Hansen's car with her wrist cuffed in front of her body. She saw a chance to escape when he was loading the cockpit of his airplane, and while his back was turned, she crawled out of the back seat, opened the driver's side door, and ran toward nearby 6th Avenue. Now, Paulson later told police that she had left her blue sneakers on the passenger side floor of the sedan's back seat as evidence that she had been in Hansen's car. So look at this chick planning to leave evidence so she can back her story up. Hansen panicked and chased her, but Paulson had reached 6th Avenue and managed to flag down a passing truck. Now, the driver, Robert Yount, alarmed by her disheveled appearance, stopped and helped. He drove her to the Mush Inn, where she jumped out of the truck and she ran inside. While Paulson pleaded with the clerk to phone her boyfriend at the Big Timber Motel, Yount continued to work, where he also called the police to report the incident. So, using Kitty Larson's and Cindy Paulson's reports and other circumstantial evidence, he was able to get the DA to approve a search warrant for the residence of Robert Hansen. On October 27th of 1983, investigators uncovered jewelry belonging to some of the missing women, as well as an array of firearms in a corner hideaway of his attic, which included a .223 caliber Ruger Mini 14 semi-automatic rifle. They also found was an aeronautical chart bearing 37 X marks hidden behind his headboard. Many of these marks matched sites where bodies had already been found. Hansen denied, other bodies were also discovered using his map, using his chart after he was arrested. Now, Hansen had denied having anything to do with the murders until they started to lay out each piece of evidence, and then he admitted to the murders. I mean, there was no denying it. They had the shell casings. They had proof that, she had seen the trophies in the basement, and you've even got their grave sites marked on your aerial map.
Right.
Like, give it up. Once arrested, Hansen was charged with assault, kidnapping, multiple weapons offense, theft, and insurance fraud. The last charge was related to a claim filed with his insurance company over the theft of some hunting trophies. At trial, he claimed he later recovered the trophies in his backyard, but he forgot to inform the insurer. Hansen entered a plea bargain after ballistics tests returned a match between bullets found at the crime scenes and Hansen's rifle. He pleaded guilty to the 4 homicides that they had evidence for, which was Morrow, Messina, Goulding, and Elktuna Annie, and provided details about a few of his other victims in return for serving his sentence in a federal prison, along with no publicity in the press. Because he was a pretty well-to-do businessman.
Didn't you say he was a baker?
He was a baker. He was everybody liked him. He was very well liked. He had, well-to-do friends.
He didn't want
nobody to know. So he wanted no publicity in the press.
I mean, are people not going to be like, I can't get a fresh loaf of bread this week?
What happened to the baker?
Where's the baker
Where's the butcher baker?
Where's the baker, the candlestick maker?
He's serving time for doing all those crimes.
He's serving life for murder.
There, we just did what do you
poet.
call that little...
You're a poet and didn't know it.
Look at me go. So, another condition of the plea bargain was his participation in deciphering the markings on his aviation map and helping locate his victims' bodies. Now, Hansen confirmed the police theory of how the women were abducted, adding that he would sometimes let a potential victim go if she convinced him that she would not report him to the police. And he indicated that he had begun killing in the early 1970s. That's why they think the one was his first, because she was found in 71.
Oh.
Hansen showed investigators 17 grave sites in and around south central Alaska, 12 which were unknown to investigators. There were marks on his map that he refused to give up, including 3 in Resurrection Bay near Seward. Authorities suspect 2 of these marks are the graves of Mary Thiel and Megan Emmerich, whom Hansen even denied killing. The remains of 12 of a probable 21 to 37 victims were exhumed by the police and returned to their families. Hansen was sentenced to 461 years in prison without the possibility of parole. He was first imprisoned at the United States Penitentiary in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. In 1988, he was returned to Alaska and briefly incarcerated at Lemon Creek Correctional Center in Juneau. He was also imprisoned at Spring Creek Correctional Center in Seward until May of 2014, when he was transported to the Anchorage Correctional Complex for health reasons. Hansen died on August 21st of 2014 at the age of 75 at Alaska Regional Hospital in Anchorage due to natural causes related to lingering health conditions. Hansen is known to have raped and assaulted over 37 women and murdered at least 17, ranging in age from 16 to 41. Although based on just the evidence alone, law enforcement suspect that he killed at least 21 female victims. And that is the story of the butcher baker, Robert Hansen, who liked to chase his game down and kill them.
Ain't that awful?
That is terrifying.
I didn't like that story.
I didn't like that story.
Yeah.
I didn't like that story.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it. Well, you can thank Lori.
Wonder where she came across that from. I didn't know Lori was.
She sent it from me on TikTok.
Oh. I didn't know she was into that.
She liked, she all the time sending me good stuff.
Is she?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I told her, I said, ooh, I've not read this one. I said, I'm going to put this one on my radar. I said, I'm going to do this one next.
Did you read a book about it?
I read 2 books about it, which were my sources, was Wiki, Butcher Baker, The True Account of an Alaskan Serial Killer by Walter Gilmour and Leland Hale, and The Butcher Baker, Life of a Serial Killer, Robert Christian Hansen by Jack Smith. 2 books and Wiki. I read.
Okay.
So, be sure to follow us on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, and the Instagram at Watch for Deer Podcast. Email us at watchfordeerpodcast@gmail.com. Go listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Y'all be sure to go and rate, too, because the ratings help put us in front of more people.
Don't we? We have like a 5-star rating.
We have like 35-star reviews, which is bonkers to me. So thank you all who have done that.
I was on ChatGPT, and I asked it because I've been on Copilot before. Hold on, I got something stuck in my throat. But I'd been on Copilot before, but I'd never been on ChatGPT. So I got on there, and I was just like doing stuff you do with AI.
Yeah.
Like I was doing some funny pictures and stuff, and then I was like, oh, I wonder, what it'll say about us. And so I was like, have you ever heard of Watch for Deer? And there was like this one thing that came up, and it was like Watch for Deer podcast is a podcast by blah 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 and all this stuff. I was like, no, it's not. No, that's not right. And then it was like, oh, you're correct. That's not what that's called. And then it was like, Watch for Deer podcast is a podcast by Elisa and Samantha, and it was like all this stuff, and it was talking about all this statistics and stuff, and it was like they have a growing cult following.
Ooh.
But I thought that was funny. Like, I don't think we have a cult following.
I like it.
But I think that's what it is like when you're tiny, when you're a small podcast like we are. And then you have like a lot of people like around here and other places or whatever that listen to us, send us messages and stuff.
They call you cults.
Yeah. You got a cult following. I was like, no, that's totally against everything that I believe in. It's not a cult following.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of shocked because I think I was at your house when I showed you the TikTok fan, the Watch for Deer podcast fan that created a TikTok and shares our videos and stuff. So I was like, what? At first I was like, oh my God, somebody's scamming us.
We weren't here.
I don't remember where it was. Oh, I sent it to you.
You sent it to me, and you were like, "Who is this?
Who is this?" I thought maybe it was one of your like kids.
Yeah, and I was like, "I don't know
I don't know who that could be." So I messaged them, and they told me who they were and where they were from. They were from Florida.
Yeah,
and it was really cool because
you were like, "Who is this?" I think you thought I was doing. I was like, "I don't know who that is."
Did you do this?
I was like, "I've never seen that before."
That was really cool. I was slightly flattered.
I love Florida so much. I love Florida so much.
I do too. But anywho, if y'all got any listener tales, we're going to start doing those probably within the next couple episodes. I've got some of those. We're going to bring some spooky, ooky, freaky tales.
Are we?
So, yes, we are. I've got a couple I just got to put them together. I got to organize my thoughts.
Well, I've got a couple small stories, but it was going to be for 2 truths and a lie, but I can't figure out my lie. Like, it's really hard to come up with such a blatant big lie like that. Like, you know, like, so
well,
I've
you
got
did great on the first one.
I know. So I've got a couple small stories to do. I mean, they're just, you know, they're more my speed.
Yeah.
But I kind of really want to do one about Appalachian folklore and like,
I like it.
You know, and like granny witches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to do that just because I don't know. Like, I
feel like it's been a minute since we've done like a good, like spooky, demonic type story.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So I feel like we just need to bring that kind of back around a little more often.
Do we?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I didn't know we needed to do
For
that.
sure. But if you guys have a story, anything fun, interesting, email us at watchfooderpodcast@gmail.com. Again, listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Y'all be safe and watch for deer.